Cass, welcome to the London Savoy Hotel in the Strand. Tell us, what's your latest adventure?
Well, Ren, as you know, I've known you many years now, and I'd like to welcome all the viewers around the world who are watching Red 559 and that come to do my suite at the Savoy Hotel. It's been my long-held ambition to live at the Savoy, and I've now managed to, as they say, pull it off, succeed. Now, the Sovoy is one of the oldest hotels on the planet, and they say it's in the top 5 best hotels ever. It's just had a £350 million refit. I've been closed for about 3 years. And as a London-based showbiz entrepreneur, my name is, as I say, Cass London, and I've been in the business now 36 years in London. I started my career with the legendary Mr. Coxon Sound in South London with Lord and Festus and Blacker Dread, One Duffer, Screechy, Bikey Dread, the great Levi Roots, Duffer Syrie, Sugar Minor, Greg Isaacs, Bob Marley, and Alton Ellis, Darrell Wilson, Dennis Brown, all the greats, and the great Errol Dunkley, those guys. Back in the day, in the late 70s, early 80s, when you went around Coxon, you saw the stars, the nitty-gritties, and Super Cats of this world who were firing on all cylinders. Smiley Culture, and then you had the other songs like Saxon and Fat Man, the great Fat Man, my brethren, and Java song from Halsden, and Frontman International, my great friend Natty. I remember hooking up with Gladdy Wax from Quaker City, the great Gladdy Wax, and so many songmen over the years, Ribs from Unity Sound, and so many guys I got to know over the years, Clive Alec and Barry Bassa from One Bassa Sound. I met Mr. Coxon at a club called Bennett's in Riverside, Bennett's Riverside Club in Battersea, and I was really impressed with the club. It kind of reminded me of where I am now with my career. Originally, I left the Royal Air Force to go to Cambridge University and I hooked up with Mr. Coxon. But things didn't work out the way I anticipated, but throughout the 80s, I've been behind the scenes in quite an influential way. Show business have changed now substantially. Everyone is a branding expert. Everyone's an Instagram fashion, how should I say? Everyone's fascinated by being famous to such a degree that we all value our talent and our photographs and so on and so forth in quite a dynamic way. And as they say, you won't get much more flashy than the Savoy, you won't get more debonair and sophisticated than the Savoy Hotel. The suite I'm in, believe me, costs over £2,000 a night to stay here. I'm all fully paid up. I'm going to be here for a while. I'm going to be living here for a while. But let me just read you how I see the press side going. My press release, which you can see at www.red5599.com. If you click onto the link that says Cass London Showbiz Agency, you'll see it there. It says Cass London launches Madison Avenue Style Showbiz Agency at the Savoy Hotel, London. And then it goes on to say London-based showbiz entrepreneur Cass London is set to launch a range of projects. With over 35 years experience of the global entertainment market and the leading trends connected to branding, celebrity identity and their market value, Cass London intends to cater to top-end big spenders who frequent places like the Savoy Hotel here, the Grosvenor House Park Lane, the Ritz Piccadilly, and Clarendon's Hotel in Mayfair. I'm the writer and creator of the Black Bond feature film known as John Revile Cultural Ambassador, a project that has the Hollywood gossip mill in full works for many years. Cass London, as himself, has also created the Big Black Dude feature film, which is effectively a cross between Shaft and Boogie Nights. The Savoy Hotel will be the venue for a new monthly The Sovoy Hotel will be the venue for a new monthly Hollywood celebrity venture called Cast London Jazz and Beat Music Club, which is said to be a game changer among the top movers and shakers. And it'll be a ticket only, invite only. So it's just my treat to the showbiz world, Hollywood, Nollywood, and Bollywood. 200 people from all over the world coming to London to enjoy themselves once a month. They're starting on the 24th of June next year, 2018. That's a Sunday. So once a month, at the end of the month, last Sunday in the month, Cast London at the Sovoy. And central to Cast London plans is the launch of Cast London Monthly Magazine with a print run of over 1 million copies. Cast London Magazine will cater to the global showbiz audience, past, present, and future, with major developments in internet technology in mind. Let me have a sip of my white dry wine. In fact, this is the contract here for the showbiz event next year. My contract with the Sovoy. And the contract itself is going to cost me, I estimate with PR thrown in, probably going to cost about £100,000 per show with PR thrown in. That's once a month next year. Now, as I said, Cast is set to publish around 500 pages of Cast on the Month magazine and will be crossed between Vibe, Vogue and Forbes magazine. So I'm actively seeking international agents and partners to help me process and package my various projects, which includes film, television, music, radio, advertising, PR, fashion, etc. I'm developing a show, a fashion documentary called Fashion Passion, which is aimed at the Urban Street crowd, Alexander McQueen, Coco Chanel, Christian Dior, Yves Saint Laurent, Gucci, Versace, if you like that kind of stuff. And we're going to be tracing Paul Smith, Charlie Allen, Oswald Boateng, those kind of dudes that we frequent and cater to that end of the market, Savile Row, Regent Street, the most chic end of London, Chelsea, Knightsbridge and so on and so forth, Dunn Street. Fashion Passion is a documentary which is designed to be a monthly television show aimed at the fashion world around the world. So I'm looking for people to get involved with that. So the magazine will be 500 pages coming up monthly. That will be launched June next year. It will look like this magazine here, okay? Which is a magazine which I admire a lot, called Love Magazine. Okay? It will look like Love, this magazine here. You can see Love is edited by Katie Grand, who is a editor and publisher that I admire. It's owned by Condé Nast, who owns Vogue magazine. This is Love here. So my magazine will look like Love. Instead of saying Love, it'll say Cast London. And this is some, I think it's what, 500 pages, what's that? 600 pages, kind of idea. Now, the Sovoy itself is one of these hotels where they spoil you in terms of the support they give you. And if you were to go onto my website at www.castlondon.co.uk, you'll see a trailer for The Black Bond with a colleague of mine, an old friend called Leon Herbert, who persuaded me to expand my career in the Royal Air Force and write about myself as an engineer. And we turned the whole idea into maybe being a pilot, a squadron leader. And Leon emulated me on television on BBC One and ITV in March 1998. The world media has called it The Black Bond. It's the project. It's fully funded, but we're not ready to go to production until June next year. So what we're going to be doing is just pushing the trailers and telling people about how we see things happening. I understand Idris Elba is quite keen on being involved somehow with the project, but in terms of a director and so on and so forth, we don't have a director attached to the project. The project is a highbrow project, highbrow science fiction type project, very futuristic. It's about the Elohim, and if you're interested in the Elohim, then you can just Google the Elohim or try it. There's a website called www.rael.org, which is about some guy, a French spiritualist, who said he's been in contact with the Elohim from other planets and star systems and so on and so forth. But there is a page at red55. If you click on the John Divine Encounter Ambassador link on that page, you will see there's a page there, 2 pages, which alludes to details about the Elohim, which is a very, very deep subject. And Elohim are meant to be fallen angels who created us in their image quite a while ago. Long, very complicated subject. But there's details there about the Elohim if you're into that kind of spiritual link, whether it's Buddha, Krishna, Yahweh, Shiva, Lakshmi, Ganesha, Jesus, God, Allah, whatever, take your pick, devil, Lucifer, Satan, whatever. Take your pick with regard to how you see the Elohim and his relationship with earthlings as being on earth. My own feeling is that we are getting to a point now with gadgets and telephones and iPads and laptops and all these things that we are getting into. We are becoming androids, as they say in the theory of heavenly talk. We become very materialistic in the sense that we worship technology, science itself. But back to me here now at Sovoy. One thing I intend to do, as it says, I'm going to say here, London has 2 feature films in production based on 2 unpublished novels, which is written, John Devine, Culture Ambassador, hailed by BBC One News, ITV News and Broadcast Magazine as Black Bond in 1998. And as I said, it's about the Elohim real that talk humanity to its creators. Actually, the movie itself is a cross between James Bond and Star Trek. And the other film, The Big Black Dude, is a cross between Shaft and Boogie Nights. What I'm going to do, I'm going to play a trailer of Leon on BBC One. I hope you can pick up the sound. Where are we? Where's the sound?
All right, we can insert that in. Don't worry, we will insert that in.
Let's pick it up. Red is saying he might not be able to get the sound. It's good. Technology gives more problems, hasn't worked. But if you go onto www.castlondon.co.uk, you see the 2 trailers. The one from ITN and one from BBC One, which is about the Black Bond, or John Devine, the Black Bond. Another thing I wanted to talk about was a networking event which I'm going to be launching at the Sovoy next year. We're having a press launch, by the way, at the end of May this year, here at the Sovoy in the Abraham Lincoln Suite, which is to bring people up to date on all my projects and my plans. That's and the press launch here at the Sovoy at the end of May this year coming. So bear that in mind. Now, what I wanted to do was to find some details about this press launch that I've been talking about. Now, in terms of me personally, I've been in the industry since 1981, having worked across the spectrum in film, television, music, radio. Well, essentially, I'm a writer, publisher, scientist, film, television, media producer, studying science, astronomy, radio communication since my formative years as a small boy in the Caribbean. In some respects, I'm a cross between George Lucas of Star Wars, Bill Gates of Microsoft, and Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak of Apple Computers. And I took my first transistor radio apart on the mango tree in 1968, would you believe, sparking an eternal love affair with the transmission of sound waves. And London is a channel, ask me, I'm a channel in contact mainly with LM deities and divine owners. Now, I've had a few phone calls over the years about the subject of the Elohim. I'm going to read one paragraph about what I perceive to be the Elohim. The Elohim are powerful universal beings who create planets, star systems, galaxies, local universes, superuniverses, and so on, also known as creator gods and goddesses. These androgynous beings, the Elohim, who can manifest from the infinitely small, like air, to the infinitely large, like solid objects, and live for trillions of years. So you talk about being like us human beings, that's trillions of years old. Scientists are guiders on a dictate from the region universe technologies heaven. As there are 7 heavens, also there are 7 super-universes, each with its own center or capital. These centers are known as the paradise regions. And then it goes on to say every created entity is an Elohim, which guards the birth, life, death, and reincarnation, and so on and so forth. And the Elohim communicates with us as their creations through divine love waveforms and controls us through telepathy. And we are, in fact, electrobiochemical robots controlled by very high and very low radiation, as they say, Radiation is not heat, temperature. And on a transmission program, you thought as DNA by a scientist. I noticed on BBC One yesterday on the news, a Japanese guy had like a stick in plaster in a guy's hand, and it was conducting electricity. We are wired beings. We literally are robots. But the ultimate responsibility for the destiny of humans, who are created in every color imaginable, rests with the gods of love and the goddess of love, like Shiva, Lakshmi, Ganesha, and so on and so forth, and Krishna, Buddha, God, Allah, Jesus, and so on. Anyway, as I was saying, now back to the Sovoy Hotel, how I see myself in the next 12 months. I'm going to be based here in my suite at the Sovoy. If you have any issues to do with contacting me, want an interview, I'm running advertisements in the Stage newspaper in London. You can source me at www.castlondon.co.uk, or if you call me on my mobile number 07780 156 072. Call me at any time 24/7, or you can reach me here at the Sovoy, my suite at the Sovoy. Simply call the Sovoy number here at the main reception 020 7836 4343. And I'm actually in suite 314. I'll be based for a while. It's likely I'm going to be here for about 6 months to a year, living at the Sovoy. It's always been my intention to live at the Sovoy. Like I said, this suite, believe it or not, has cost me £2,000 a day, cash. And I'm paid up for the next 3 months. I'm going to be here for a while. So, look out for more stuff. So, later on this week, we're going to do another Vox Pop, bring you guys up to date, talking about the American scene. And if you notice, black film and black filmmakers are very popular now. Black history. Darcus Howe, unfortunately, just passed away. Bless him, the great activist who helped us so much with his Devil's Advocate show on television, Channel 4, and his other projects. And Race Today, the magazine he used to run with back in the days with the other entrepreneurs from the Caribbean. I know he's from Trinidad. I'm actually from St. Vincent in the Caribbean. And I'd like to say yo to my brethren, my great brethren, Noddy Coxon. I hope you going well with Festus, pushing the sound. I know you've got a festival on called the One Love Festival later this year in September. And I think that's going to be very dynamic. I saw you on Festus, talking about your history. And like you said, cast the machine, bud. Anyway, I'm going to cut it there. What I was going to say, with regard to a festival that I have in mind, I've got something called Afro Universe Festival that I want to stage around about the 5th of August 2018, simultaneously in London, New York, and Sydney, as an expo, a 7-day expo. Arts, media, music, culture, entertainment, etc. I estimate the London level is probably going to cost about $100 million to put on properly. The London part of it. It's like a tribute, showcase, conference, and exhibition. So everybody from Bob Marley to Jimi Hendrix, from Count Basie to Duke Ellington, from John Lennon to Elvis Presley, from Billie Holiday to Marvin Gaye, from Michael Jackson to Whitney Houston, from James Brown to Lena Horne, from Marilyn Monroe to Jane Mansfield, from Diana Dawes to Paula Yates, from Wendy James to Hattie Jacks, from Marlena Daytree to Bessie Smith, from Robert Johnson to Benny Goodman, from Dean Martin to Frank Sinatra, etc., etc. Sammy Davis Jr. to Richard Pryor, Curtis Mayfield to Isaac Hayes, Otis Redding to Sam Cooke. So many names that we can drop. We're going to pay tribute to these people. As we, from Delaware Wilson to Alton Ellis, Dennis Brown, some Sugar Minot, Gregory Isaacs. The amount of artists who's passed away is incredible. David Bowie, George Harrison, so many, Joe Cocker, so many dudes that we've lost recently, especially quite recently. So rather sadly, Mama Cass, over the years, and I think we need to look. One of the things I'm going to do at the Jazz Club setting is going to be like this kind of feeling, this kind of luxury feel, but it's aimed at celebrities and their friends. So it's wine, dine, and dance. So you come with your friend, and Cass will treat you. Play the music in the background, play jazz music. For 200 of the hippest celebrities that I can perceive on the planet. You've got the Quincy Jones of this world, and younger versions of Quincy, and Bill Cosby, whoever's wrong at the time, the latest version of Frank Sinatra, the Simon Cowell's of this world. We've got the BBC, ITV, NBC, CNN, the world media, so Bollywood and Nollywood, Shashi, Kapoor's, those guys from the Indian Bollywood scene, Mimik Khan, and the whole idea of the monthly event is to present the cognoscenti Cafe Society as a massive jazz event for people that like beat music. I'm a blues man, or jazz man, or soul man, but I'm an engineer, like a producer in terms of audio engineering and so on and so forth. I used to build amplifiers. I'm still into that kind of stuff. But I'm saying I have an ear for sound. I remember Ronnie Scott and his partner Peter King used to say that I remind them of Quincy Jones when I was going back 20 years. But about 20 or 30 odd years ago, I was on Capital Radio with Trevor Horn, the producer, speaking about the explosion of rap music, how we saw it developing. I remember Radio 1 calling me up, BBC Radio 1 calling me up and asking me if I wanted a job to try and put together a show for them. So I went downstairs at the BBC at Egerton House, just up from Regent Street. I remember listening to the soundboard. I remember King Tubby's a lot, the late King Tubby's great sound. And yeah, I know Coxton Dad has passed away as well, so many people out there. Willie Mitchell, our green producer, Styx Hooper and Joe Samples from the Crusaders. So many people have gone. And it's kind of sad, but as I was reading about the Elohim, I personally think there's another life goes on. But we get to a point in life now on Earth where we're going to start replicating human beings very, very soon. But I'll end it for the time being. Thanks, Red.